Welcome everybody back to the Sport Bite Fencing podcast. My name is Stefano, one of your hosts for this show. With me today is again another amazing special guest, one of my longtime rivals, but also your really good friends, Farès Ferjani, who's a Sabre fencer, an Olympian, two-time Olympian, and African champion multiple times in juniors, cadets, and seniors. Farès Ferjani, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invite.
Of course, of course. So I know you're. Can you tell us a little bit? Where are you right now? You're back in Tunisia. Are you in the USA? How is everything going for now?
For the moment, I'm in Tunisia. I'm just trying to practice a little bit with the national team, just stay a little bit close with my family. Having fun, so much fun here. It's pretty cool. You know, it's very nice when you can practice, be with your mom at the end of the day. It's like, it's warm, man. It's an amazing thing. Well, soon enough, I'll be back in New York, though, like in 1 week or 10 days, just to go back to real life, focus more about fencing, and be ready for the next event. So hopefully everything will be cool.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of leads me to my first question is how have you been able to adapt with this whole pandemic, with the training? Now you're in Tunis, but you know, what's your daily life like? What's your routine? And how do how are you finding yourself preparing for Tokyo? Maybe mentally, what physically?
Yeah. So when the quarantine started, actually, I had a break, a total break from everything. I just decided to stay by myself for a couple months. No practice, no fencing. I eat everything I want. It's like very unprofessional. For 2 months, I decided to really have fun. You know, start on the end of June, I started practice. Before actually the let's say the end, in the middle of June, I started like focusing and giving everything back to professional, only healthy, nothing unprofessional, and everything is actually going well until then. My practice is actually pretty cool. It's like I have 2 free days a week.
Okay.
With I do have a lot of practices on Monday and Wednesday since I practice in St. John's. And
yeah.
So I find myself having 3 practices a day in those couple days. It's pretty a lot, but thank God we have trainers and everything, and you have a pretty good idea since the organization. Then actually, I found myself having a blast lately because you can actually focus on things that you want to progress in, like your technique, the small details, like the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you work out, the way you move on the strip. So I'm pretty happy that actually we had all of this quarantine because I actually can progress on myself a little bit more in the US. Because like working with you is very specific on the small technical details. And as you know, it takes a little bit of time to fix at least 1 or 2 small techniques.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah. No, I can kind of relate, and definitely like this whole quarantine at first, it was like, okay, yes, finally we have a little break. I can really give my body full recovery from a few little injuries here and there, kind of clear the mind from fencing and maybe focus a little bit more on school. But obviously as the time progressed, we were like, okay, crap, this is actually starting to get a little bit too long of a vacation. So little by little had to kind of get back into the routine. But I think you made a very good point. Like we're able to now focus a little bit more on, okay, I want to work on my attacks. I want to work on very specific little things, which maybe before this, all this free time when we had so many competitions and everything, it was a little bit difficult to focus on specific things. You were kind of just trying to pack everything into every session that we can, and we're kind of going crazy. So definitely, yeah, it's good, but I feel like we're on the same page. We're ready to be back in competitions. We're ready to be back on the qualification, finishing the qualification for Tokyo, and just ready to see each other, to compete against each other, and to be back. Hopefully sooner rather than later. So we talked a little bit, I guess, right now about the COVID situation and your training. So tell us, I know you're coming from a fencing family, kind of similar to me. Your whole family is involved in fencing, your father, your brothers, your cousins. For people that don't know you so well, can you tell us a little bit about your family, your background, how involved is your family and what their current roles and positions are?
It's honestly pretty simple for us. It's like there is food, people have food, sleeping, going to work. For us, we have food, sleeping, and fencing, and maybe to work. We still like have, like jobs outside of fencing and everything, but fencing is like essential in the Ferjani's family. Like it's a must.
Yeah.
No one can come to this world without like taking a sword, and it's fun. It's like really fun because we can speak about it. Everybody lift each other in some ways. We have some of our fencing family who don't really like progress or anything, but they still do fencing just for fun.
Yeah.
I have a brother of mine that I'm sure you never heard of, that he was a fencer, but he still goes sometimes just for fun to play a little bit. Because we still have that small feeling that we like, as athletes, we always, as fencers, I would say, we always try to play with hands when we meet, who have like the faster reaction and everything. And we still do that here. So all my family is in fencing, from my mom to her sister to her family also a little bit, to my father to his brother to all his kids to all our brother. So for us, it's like sometimes it's like a competition a little bit, when we were kids, who's gonna be better, who's gonna do this, who's gonna do that. And the problem that it's also a solution, when we go home, we speak about it in dinner, we speak about it in the morning, we speak about it in the afternoon, and sometimes it's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So thank God we have a couple members in our family that, like my brother is an architect, and like my sister-in-law, she's an engineer, and like they speak about some other things that we can a little bit relate to,
Yeah.
So when we focus a lot about one specific like movement or something, is like a little bit too much, and people get bored of it. Like, so we try to switch a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. I had no idea that even your mom's side of the family was also fencers and involved in fencing. I knew your father. Obviously, he's a member of the FIE and a lot of the referees commission and everything. So I see him at competitions. And I know your father, but your mother, I had no idea. But that's even double than me, because okay, my mom is involved in fencing naturally, but her family, nothing to do, no history with fencing. But that's interesting.
It's like my mom and dad is like maybe one of the first couples in the late 80s that met in fencing and they get married. That's through fencing.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
as well, though.
A fencing romance. Sorry. I'm glad. Let's stick to this theme of fencing in Tunisia and in your family. How have you seen fencing change, develop, improve, maybe through the years in your country, in Tunis? I know in the last Olympic Games we have a medal with Ines Boubarki in women's foil. Obviously, you're 2 times Olympian, so there is progress. But I want to hear from you. How have you seen it really improve or not? Tell me a little bit.
Depends what you want to hear, or the truth, like the very, very cruel, honest truth, or just the disguised truth. Okay, I would say there is progress, 100%, because there is always the small, obsessive that want to succeed in that type of sport. And those specific people like me, you, and all our fencers that lift our sport up. Because in the end of the day, it's not really like a sport that you can make dollars out of it, like honestly. But we really do what we are doing because we love it. Like we're passionate about it, and we truly we fall in love with the sport that in the end is gonna give us only like couple trips and meeting like really good people. We will. It's impossible to make actually a living out of it. But in Tunisia, it's the same thing. People like do it. We still have like a couple obsessive that I'm sure they will be good at some point in their lives and in their career. But we don't really have like a hierarchy that will make the Tunisian fencing like go great. There is always a couple people who come. There's not, there is not a school like the Italian school, the Russian school, where there is like good coach coming, taking like a lot of kids and teaching them like the right fencing. Here is like those talented people who don't have amazing coaches, and they watch us in the YouTube like I used to do when I was a kid, and I'm sure you used to do it as well. And trying to follow like those amazing fencers in their action, in their styles and everything. And it's good and it's sad in the same way because we don't really have, I'm not going to say about money, but we don't really have enough minds that will give to the society as much as they can get from it. And that's the problem in human race in general. They always want to take, never give back.
Yeah, and it's a really big shame, and unfortunately, I feel like that kind of holds back many nations that have the potential, that have some very talented fencers or fencers with a lot of potential and the desire to make it out, but simply there's just a lack of support, whether it be funding, whether it be knowledge of fencing. It's really a shame, and do you guys have support from the Olympic Committee? Do you guys have your World Cups and competitions sometimes paid for, at least for the top people? Or
yes, but this is the good thing that in this country, not like in our sport, usually in fencing, only when you reach like a certain level, like let's say when you start getting like the elite group, they start funding you. It's like the reverse. Like people should fund you when they see your talent.
Yeah.
If they did that, you'll be much better right now. So you must work all along by yourself until you reach like a certain level. Then they will start giving you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So now, yes, at the level where I am now, yes, I have funding where they pay for all my World Cups, but I didn't have that until 2018 or 2017.
Wow. which is actually surprising for me because you qualified for the Youth Olympics in Nanjing in 2014, and obviously you also qualified and were an Olympian in Rio. So which actually kind of leads me to my next question to ask you is how have those? It's incredible to hear now from what you just said that you really were by yourself, didn't have too much support from a National Olympic Committee or from sponsors to make it that far.
Let's put the point is I did not, and then I did. So the idea is I did not in the middle, but now I do have. That's because there's kids right now that I can see in the fencing club. If you fund them and bring them like real coach who can actually teach them and not really like give them any coach to keep, like, because it's not any fencer can be a coach. He need to have something like, he can really know how to speak with the kids. But we see a lot of great fencers that they don't know how to speak with kids, and kids by the end of the day, they will hate fencing. And that's true. So yes, I did have funding lately, like in the last 3 years. Thank God, yes, it's been great.
Well, at least something is better than nothing. But yeah, can you tell us a little bit of your Olympic experiences and how was Nanjing, which was the Youth Olympics, was that an inspiration for you? Was that a confidence booster to give you the hope to qualify for Tokyo? Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in Nanjing compared to Rio, and what were your goals or aspirations for each competition? I know that's a big question, but if you can, that'll be great.
I started actually Sabre in 2013.
I did not know that.
I did actually start Sabre in 2013. Very late, just after watching the Olympics of 2012. And just after that, I had one World Cup. In the end of 2012, actually, started Sabre. And then we went to Jordan and a little bit World Championship. Just went to win. My father paid for me. He just said, like, go, maybe have fun.
Yeah.
And I lost in pools, man. It was horrible. I was like, everybody was kicking my ass. And I was like,
we've all been there.
I was like, this is a shame, man. I gotta practice a little bit harder. And then I went to the World Championship, and man, I got kicked out so easily, and I was like, fencing is tough.
Yeah.
So then I qualified for the Youth Olympics. How did I qualify? In 2014 Plovdiv.
Plovdiv, yeah. Yeah.
So the thing is, you must be the first in the zonal champion, like in your zone qualify.
Yeah.
And thank God I did like top 32 or something like that, and I finished like number 18 or something, and I qualified like very close, very, very close. Then I was going to the Youth Olympics, and I remember like 4 months before it, I had actually a very good coach that I practiced with in 1 year from 2013 to 2014. And it was a Romanian coach, very like technically was good, amazing. I liked him a lot. But it was only 1 year, you know.
Yeah.
He gave me everything in like not even 1 year, like 10 months. I loved it. It was very nice. And then he left. But the thing is, in those 1 year, 10 months, I went to Romania for a couple camps. And I think there is where I started actually improving.
Your level, yeah.
Yes, because like I remember technically he was surprisingly amazing. And his name is Emil Woncher. Like he's pretty good, like coach. So what we did, we worked after the Plovdiv, because Plovdiv was in April and the Olympics was in July or August, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And after the World Championship, we start getting a lesson almost every day because there's no one to fence with in the whole team.
In Tunis, you're talking.
There was no one in the fencing hall for the whole period until the Youth Olympics.
Yeah.
When I say no one, I mean no one at all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I would go to the gym in the fencing hall just to get a lesson for like 1 hour, like nonstop. And then by the end of the Youth Olympics, I found myself actually having something, not something great. I actually I did semifinal in the Youth Olympic game.
Not bad.
Yes, I was very happy, man. I was like, cool.
What was your expectation before? Were you just like, okay, I'm gonna have fun, or just?
My expectation for me is always first place. I never have first place, but my expectation are always pretty high. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's impossible for me to go to say I want to take bronze medal.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah.
It's a feeling that for some reason everybody tell me I need to put it down a little bit, but I can't. It's just inside, you know. And like all fencers, when we lose, we get upset. But me, I don't really get upset. I get more like I can wait to go back home.
Yeah, motivated. You're like, okay, I want to screw this last competition. Let's work for the next one.
But like that moment when you say screw the competition is like screw it, but it's always in my head.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still remember competitions that I lost very stupidly, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And just because I didn't have what I have now, and maybe later I will still lose like a couple of years from now, and then I will think about it. You know, it's like data. I just always go through my old data just to create what I can do in the future, basically.
Yeah.
So after Youth Olympics, I got a boost of confidence. I started practicing even harder after that to get an idea about how the fencing will, how my fencing will progress in the next years. And after doing a semifinal, actually the Tunisian government started not pay me all my World Cups. You never saw me in all the World Cups.
Yeah.
Three and four.
Yeah.
So the first year I didn't go, actually. They sent me only to 2015. 2016, it was like that, like 3, 4. And in 2017, in my last junior, I was like 5, actually, or 4. That's it, actually. And from there, we started going little bit by we start climbing the mountain a little bit. And we still do, actually.
Yeah. And how was the whole qualification experience, and how was Rio for you?
Rio was cool. The feeling was amazing. And also I fenced with Aldo. Well, that was a better feeling.
Yeah.
When you have no level and you fence with the best, and probably one of the best in the history.
Yeah.
You touch couple point at some point because at that age, you know, you think I don't really have a level. If you think about it, like honestly, like I was just fencing what I saw from him and other amazing fencers.
Yeah.
Doing like any parry, I didn't know why would I will do that parry in that point. I didn't know why will I do this preparation against what preparation, where to put my hand, when to do like this exact like this specific, you know, point or this specific. I was just fencing for fencing, you know.
Yeah.
The qualification wasn't difficult, you know. When you're from Africa, it's pretty like it's not simple, it's not easy.
No.
But at that specific competition, I found myself not with like amazing athletes. So I took the chance that what I received from the qualification, and I tried to finish the qualification as easy as I can. Like it was like very like I didn't want to give any chance to anyone.
Yeah.
Because it was not Egypt or anything. So it was like only like one Moroccan, one French Moroccan, one from Senegal, one from here, one from here. So I tried to keep it simple. Then we went to Olympics. I had amazing experience, man. It's beautiful. I hope you'll go to Tokyo and you'll see it's another feeling. You will not be scared. You will just can't wait to fence.
Yeah. No, I really hope to see you there. Hopefully, I'll be there, and if not, for sure, will be Paris 2024. And you know, but I feel like, you know, we come from similar mentality, similar background. That, you know, that's something we dream about every day, every practice we're there. It's like to be at the Olympics. Hopefully, one day be Olympic champion, not just an Olympian. And I can't imagine. I fenced with Aldo at training camps, and it's like I was like, wow, this guy, he's my idol, he's my hero. So like, honestly, I can't imagine how cool it must have been to fence with him. Not only just to fence, but at the first real, you know, senior Olympic Games for you to fence an idol, a hero, an icon. It must have been amazing. It would have been great if you beat him, of course.
No, of course. You know, at that point, I really didn't think about winning or losing. I was just like, I just want to fence. You know, I was like 18, and I was just let me have fun.
Yeah.
I fenced one bout, and believe me, I couldn't like walk straight for the like next 3 days. I'm serious. Everything hurts.
Yeah.
Because as athletes, we don't really get professional until we start believing that we can be the best.
Yeah.
At that point, I really start thinking about that just like last 2 years or 1 year. As then when you start like thinking about the food you eat, thinking about how many practices you should give, when you should sleep, when you shouldn't sleep, everything start like coming to you when you think that you have a chance to be the best, one of the best.
Yeah.
At that age, I didn't think I could be the best. I just wanted, for sure, in that specific competition, just wanted like to fence with Aldo and be like, cool, you know, like cool, man, I like that.
Yeah. You made an interesting.
Hopefully, fence with him again in 2021.
Yeah, and maybe get your revenge this time.
Yeah, I will. Hopefully.
For sure. No, you know, I don't mean to upset Aldo if he ever listens to this episode or anything. But
I don't mean to upset anyone, but I hope I don't lose with anyone.
No, of course. But you know, you mentioned this, and in you were talking about it a little bit earlier, how you always have like the database of competitions. And I remember one of the matches that I remember vividly, and I'll bring it up now. I want to hear what you remember from it. 14-14 Budapest World Cup Juniors. I don't know what year, like 3 years ago, something like this. Me and you. Yeah. Me and you in top 8. It was in top 8 for the semifinals. 14-14. You knew it was too light, something. I don't remember the action. I'll let you tell it. But what happens after the 14-14? What drama unfolds? Can you share with everybody what you remember?
To be honest with you, the backstory to that competition that you don't know. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember fencing that day. So what happened? My cousin, my stupid cousin, the night before we fenced, he said, "Let's put a horror movie."
Oh no.
And I don't like horror movie at all.
Me
I
neither.
like at all. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not ashamed to say it. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
And we put a movie about a shark trying to eat a woman in the middle of this. And I was like, oh my God. So we slept at 5 in the morning because me, I was looking to the ceiling and I was like, I can't. I just have no sleep now. And the coach woke up like, I don't remember, like 7 in the morning. So I had 2 hours of sleep.
Yep.
And I was fencing every bout like it was my last.
Yeah.
I couldn't like focus even a second at all. And I remember from the first 64 or 128, I started beating people only like 13, 11, 14, 14, 13. And then I started fencing with you in top 8. And I remember like you beating me like 10-2.
It was honestly, I don't remember what happened. Me too. I don't remember the match before. All I remember is the last few points.
So I remember you were beating me like a lot. And my coach, he was like very close to me. He was like my friend more than my coach. He came to me and he's like, "Are you ready to do something? Do you want to fence?" And I was like, bro, I really need to sleep. And you know, when you want to sleep, you can't eat or do anything.
Yeah. It's like a zombie.
Like, I just want to sleep. So I said, I'm just going to do 2-3 step lunge. That's it. Doesn't matter what happened. I'm just going to scream and do anything I can so he just don't bother me after and tell me like you lost because you didn't focus.
Yeah.
So I started doing like very crazy 2-step lunge or 3-step lunge or whatever, you know, trying to get or attack, counterattack, or just try to finish. And I don't know, slowly start getting heated up. And then we start, I don't know, like, I remember it was a fight with the referee and me telling him just, hey, don't give black card to no one, you crazy, why? I remember telling the referee, like, yo, we're buddies. He's like my friend. He didn't mean anything, not to me or to you. Because you have a little bit of that Latino, like.
Hey, a little bit, you know, a little bit.
Like, I know, even Pasquale, I like when you guys do that. You get like, oh, Mamu, you were like, that's so much fun, though. But then I remember he wanted to get black card, and I was like, bro, you're serious? Like, bro, you didn't say anything bad, relax. And he's like, okay, I'm not giving nothing. I was like, yeah, because he didn't say nothing bad. But in the end, it was fun, though. We had a lot of fun in that competition. Like, I remember that.
So that's what you remember. Now I'm going to say what I remember. I remember, yes, you were just running at me. I was like, God damn it, Farès, you're so annoying. Like, this is just, I hate fencing like this. You just ready fence, ready fence, yeah.
I didn't have anything in my head. I was like,
okay, now it explains a lot, but it also makes me feel worse knowing that I lost with you who are like on 2 hours of sleep. You don't even remember. Like, that makes me feel worse. Anyway, 14-14. You run at me. I feel like I get maybe preparation or attack, something. I feel like it's my touch. The referee gives it to you, and I take my mask off. I like quickly. I just go like this and like this. I do not throw the mask, nothing. But from the momentum of me taking my mask off fast, I did not throw it again, making sure that's clear. But my mask cord went flying and it hit the referee. The mask cord hit the referee like somewhere here on the chest or something. And then immediately he looks at me and said, and like goes in and gives me the black card. And everybody was watching this match. So like the whole room saw that I got the black card. Okay, I immediately started apologizing. But the moral of the story is, and why I brought it up as well, is I want to, make it clear. I appreciate, and just to show everybody, fencing and non-fencers who's watching this, that I think what really is special about our sport is the friendships. Obviously, now we're discussing it and we're laughing about it. For me, one of my worst matches, I still remember that. But for you, see, you don't even remember it. But anyway, we're still friends.
I do remember at the point. Like, I remember I got a medal on the World Cup. It was cool. I had fun.
It was cool. Hey, I wish I did.
I wish you will do soon, bro. I wish you will win World Cup in senior. I remember that junior competition. I was like, I am so happy. I'm so happy I lost in the final. You have no idea. Like,
just to sleep.
I slept in the bus.
Oh my God.
That was one of the. I would tell you that was one of the best competition and the worst because I was feeling horrible and it's still. Yeah. I was like, this is good. This is good for my moral. Man, but like I remember, like it was tricky because in juniors, I believe they should do videos because like
there was nothing.
Our technique is not that good, and we don't really think about the action that we want to actually do because you will never see in junior like someone who go for like I don't know, like counter 5 or something like specifically or like have like a specific action you want to do. Yeah. We get so stressed in that age, and we are not mature enough, at least most of us, to actually try to make something professional, like professional action or anything. We just want to run or just take any parry at any moment. Or most of us, we were fencing just with feelings.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe in juniors, they really should do videos because it will make a big difference. I think now they start doing them, right?
I mean, I think again, it's only at some competitions, only if the organizers have the money. But I don't think I don't know, but I haven't been a junior for the last 2-3 years now. We're the same age, but I don't think I'm not sure if it's every competition. But since we're on this subject anyway, leads me to my next question. How do you think we can, like the sport of fencing, how we should improve it? Us as athletes, what should we suggest to the FIE, or what could the FIE and the directors and the commission do to improve fencing? And like what areas do you think are lacking and that need to be improved?
Wow, this is it's very tough.
It is, yeah.
I believe the first thing they should do also is bring an agency of marketing.
Yeah.
I think, but a real agency, like a real international agency that they will pay them big money. Or I believe the president of the FIE have a little bit of money. So I believe they should push fencing with, like, I'm not going to say ads or anything, but we need a big marketing like organization behind us, first of all. Second of all, we need to, I believe, make fencing like, I love Budapest, those championships. Yeah. That was
very nice.
Very nice. I loved also Wuxi, was very nice.
Yeah.
Wuxi was amazing. Most of the world championships actually are very professional. And my idea is, I believe every World Cup should be like that.
Yeah.
And I believe also they need to change a lot of things. Like the first thing I believe is they should do not allow everyone to fence in every tournament.
Mm-hmm.
At some, like, I'm not going to say like tennis, but you cannot really push and make satellites big if you don't make people fence in them.
Yeah.
Because like, I do not really agree 100% that we should put everybody in World Championship, because we see a lot of fencers that they go in World Championship, no offense to no one, but this is the truth, that as me as well, I believe if I started with satellites and not allowing me to fence World Championship or any of this competition before, it would be much better for me as a fencer to actually know where my level is. Because sometimes as athletes or as fencers, we get a small result and we lose it. We think we're good. Mm-hmm. A lucky thing. But not as tennis. If you focus in tennis, or because tennis now is one of the greatest individual sports, and we should take it as an example. We shouldn't let everybody fence in the same event or tournament if some people really have a lack of, like, the level is way, way bigger than the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is for fencing, for us, for the organization to make satellites actually bigger and actually real competition where like referee can go and not actually ref 2, 3 bouts and just go home.
Yeah.
You know, to make it more intense and less point, and to make fencing more like professional.
Yeah.
Let's not put everybody in the same basket and make that basket specific for some like the top 100 or top 150. I'm not gonna say like 300 because we don't really fence that much.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like there is nonsense to go fence some pool bouts.
Yeah.
And I believe also we should take off the pool. I don't know if you think about it.
I mean, I think about it all the time, and I was actually kind of wondering how you feel now being in the top 16. How has that changed your mentality for the competitions and everything?
It's much more specific. It's much more detailed. And sometimes I wish to fence pool to get that in competition, like the feeling of, okay, my competition started, I'm actually like ready. Because sometimes when a guy comes from the first day to fence with you, he's already much more motivated than you.
Yeah.
Because he was already like, he fenced and he sweated yesterday and he's ready like to kick you, like whatever, like to do anything he can to beat you today. So if you like, you know, if you're not at that mood of being ready to fence right away, like extremely good,
yeah,
doesn't matter with who you fence, because at some point, like with like 5, 6 actions doing in a row, you lose focus, you make 2 good attacks and everything, that will be done.
Yeah.
Not a lot of athletes are physically able to maintain like a very good bout, even if they are not in a very good mood.
Yeah.
So I believe also we should make fencing a little bit easier for this, like for the people to understand.
Mm-hmm. You mean with rules and things like this, or
like we should keep the rules the same, but make them easier for the outside people. When they should see the referee, they should understand in the screen why is this, why is that. Like let's say for specifically in foil, when the white light come in, we shouldn't like say attack, no repose, no, not allowed. Like white, right away.
Yeah.
You know? Let's take the time out, even for the spectator to know. White light, boom, bye. Mm-hmm. Well, make specific small details can change a lot.
Yeah.
And we should relate fencing a little bit with Star Wars and bring the Star Wars fan base to fencing world.
Yeah, and I think we see this in France. They're doing this more with lightsaber fencing and everything.
Yes, and playing lights. We should. A lot of time I think about this question, and I'm very happy to speak about it today. Actually, we should make every bout like spectacular.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's bouts we fence, no one see, no one care about, and we shouldn't, because we only want to, like as fencers, sometimes when you start understanding fencing, you'll watch anything.
Yeah.
If it's good level, you'll want to watch it because you are sure they're gonna make good actions. So I want to do like those small, where's the strip? Let's say blue strip here, and we make spectators just around it, half of it. So basically, you remember how Rio was like this?
Yeah, with the X, yeah.
I was thinking to do this like where people to watch like X also.
Yeah.
About right here, it will look like the final.
Yeah.
Right here will look like the final. Right here will look like the final. And then when the big final come, everybody can see from one specific way.
Yeah.
Or also like make those small rooms where there is like only like a strip and with spectators just around it. I saw they did that, I think, in one World Championship like long time ago. I like that. Every strip, you go in with your spectators, like a tennis court, let's say.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a big stadium, but more focused on those 2 athletes.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really cool suggestion, and I think definitely I agree that our sport lacks the professionalism of many other sports. Like I'm just gonna say, for example, Formula One, or you mentioned tennis. I just watched the race a few days ago for Formula One. That they have races, but okay, every circuit, every race is different, but the stands are the same. they have a garage. Like the format is the same. Whereas for us, you know, one time in Budapest, you have the venue here, the next year it's different. Then in Madrid, there's just so many uncertainties that it's very difficult to be a professional and really to know how to prepare and to plan and everything, where the cuisines change, the time zones change, the venue every year changes. So these things, I think, is very, you make a very good point to make it more professional.
It's also the problem of, I would say, funding.
Yeah.
But also, I don't believe it's that only the problem, because if you want funding, you can always figure something out. But also, act professional, you become professional.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, like a lot of philosophers will say, act this type of way. Even when you're by yourself, you will become that certain person. It's the same way in life. Act professional, you become professional. What does mean? I mean, like our fencing, like the FIE, they should act more professional in the fencing event. There's something very important that you probably never noticed, but it happened to us most of the time. When we fence in tournaments, and our streets are very close to other where they fence, we lose focus.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's the main reason of a lot of people who lose sometimes. We lose focus, and when you fence with someone who just next to you who keeps screaming because they made a mistake of a point, or he throw his mask, or he do anything, you lose a certain type of focus that you were ready to make.
Yeah.
Because like fencers, we like silence.
Yeah.
Like I'm as a fencer, I don't mind when there is a lot of screaming or not, but I know a friend of mine that they hate that. They want silence.
Yeah.
And I believe that the idea of making each strip by its own spectators will make the sport, at least for us, much more professional in some way. Let us focus, let us like enjoy much more being like the main event, the main athletes like that attention. We're not like, sometimes we feel like we're not chiefs. We put everybody, all like, how many, like 8 fencers in the same strips.
Yeah.
And you do like 16 when there is like multiple strips, and in pools it's much more. But, right. But sometimes like we need a little bit more space for an athlete, like to take his time to think, you know? Sometimes we're making competition in pools, we like ants. Everybody's next to each other. Sometimes you don't find where to sit.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's ridiculous. And the more we talk about it, I feel like we can go on finding all these little issues. But I think it's important discussions to have. And this is only the beginning, you know. And this is the whole point of having this podcast, this series, is for us to be able to express our feelings and to have a conversation. And this is just, you know, part one. You know, we can continue, and we should really continue to talk about it, because just thinking about it, you know, you mentioned some things. I'm thinking, and I could mention more things. How unprofessional and unserious it is to even think like, wow, we're fencers. We're going to be Olympians. We're trying to be professional athletes, but the whole competition is such a jungle. It's such a crazy circus. People yelling, screaming. There's nowhere to warm up. Just it's cold or it's way too hot. Like there's so many things, so many issues.
Really, it's really sometimes a shame to think about that certain event could be much more professional if they changed a little bit of things. They can have, take a hall twice as big as the one you had to let people warm up, to let people make every competition like a world championship. Give them some sports where to fence. Give them more space. Give them more let them be more secure about themselves. Let the athlete be the main let them feel that it's their competition. It's about them. You know, it's about them and the people who are gonna come watch them. It's not about the event. We see a lot of events that just try to make money, but it's not real money what you're making. If you think about big money, be more professional. Spend more, you get more.
Yeah.
Give them a better idea. Bring television in this. Make sponsors. Make ads. If you don't make, just bring something. If you can't do that, step aside. Maybe someone else can.
I agree with you 100%, and I really hope we can.
Yeah, of course we can. Like, you need very small details. I really believe the idea of a strip with their own spectators will make
Yeah.
the episode much more focused.
Yeah.
And believe me, the strong fencers probably will be stronger, or maybe people like that are not in top 16, they'll find themselves much more confident when there is not so much noise around them,
Yeah.
and when they can stay away from the I don't know, those like screaming. Like sometimes you hear athletes when they lose, they make big scandals, and it's affecting everyone, and we do as well. It's,
Yeah, yeah, no, we are guilty of the same. Yeah.
everybody is guilty, so we
Yeah.
shouldn't like allow ourselves to behave that way when there's other people around. But sometimes we cannot control it. So
Yeah.
that's the idea of let's make like small strips with not big like spectators, but just like around them, like for 1,000 person, maybe less, 500, 1,000. Let's start small, and then in the
Yeah.
fourth one, you make another event, much more like nice, maybe smaller, not like as World Championship, but with the same type of energy. And
Yeah.
I think I think it wouldn't cost as much as really people think. It will cost the same in the end of the day.
No, I think it's just it's more to change the mentality and just to change the approach, and really that's all it will take. So for sure, I've been considering getting more involved with fencing in the FIE and stuff. I assume maybe you will think of that as well, and hopefully we together, along with our many other fencers, our generation, younger, can come together in the near future and really make a change for the better for all of us, not just for us right now in the moment, but for the future of our sport, which I'm sure we will continue with our families and everything. But yeah, I'll leave that topic there because I feel like we can have a whole episode, and we probably should really have an episode, and I'll think of other people to invite, other guests to invite, and we can have like a group chat about it. I want to discuss a little bit, to start asking the last few things. How has your experience been in the United States? So you moved there to go to university at St. John's. How has, been being away from home, long distance, away from your friends, your family in Tunis? How have you been able to deal with this? And also, how was your experience working with a new coach, with new teammates, with everything, with Yuri, and being in Manhattan, being in such a amazing but also crazy city?
Kobe Bryant once said something that I really like. They said, when your family know that you want to do this because you really like it, they let you be you. But don't forget, everything that you pass through all the time is gone. It's lost. You will never get back. And I go with that code every single day. I'm pursuing my dream. And even if I miss my family, it matters, but it doesn't really matter as much as I want to pursue the dream that I have or the growth to the goal I have. In that I'm working to be the best, let's say, version of myself and to grow with myself before anyone else. Because I must feel good in the end of my career. I just, like he's also said, that I really respect a lot. I don't want to be or say I could have done more. And
Yeah.
that's why, like for me, that person is a hero because he expressed every word that I always wanted to say. So being away from my family, I don't really have time to miss them. The
Yeah.
only time I have is when I have nothing to do. But with fencing and with Yuri and with the lessons, with like 3, 4 times a week a lesson, with Monday, Wednesday, Saturday morning practices, with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday practices an afternoon, and with like 2, 3 lifts, with me being and doing my MBA in finance and having like my best friends there. I have my dog there, and I have my own like apartment and everything. I don't really have time to miss no one.
Yeah.
I need to call my mom when I want to cook something. So speak with her to speak with me while she cook and while I cook to have the son mother moment, or to call my girlfriend, or to call my dad or my brothers. Just those small times. But deep inside, I know that I will have time for them the day that I can finish everything. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy that it's very hard, man. It's, believe me, going like finishing practicing, and if you lived in New York before, from Manhattan to Queens, sometimes if I finish practice at 10, I will arrive home at 12.
Yeah.
And it's very hard that you will wake up tomorrow at 8 or 9 because you practice at, you need to be at 10:45 in St. John's to practice and to lift and everything, or if you have a class at 9. It's very hard, but also it's very motivating. Like you motivate yourself every single morning, so you just don't give up.
Yeah. No, and I think that's incredible, man, and all the respect to you. And I think it's for sure it really it's showing because your level of fencing, your level as a fencer, really within the last since Rio has gone so much further up. And I'm even surprised to hear that you started so late with fencing. You know, like 2013, you said you started with the you switched to Sabre, and then you within a year you were at the Olympics. But I think that just maybe now you have that mentality, but I feel like throughout your whole life you've had that mentality of working and hard work and grinding and keep being motivated, and really right now it's showing. You're one of the top ranked fencers in the world. You're on the path to your second senior Olympics, your third overall Olympic Games, medals at senior World Cups and Grand Prix. So, honestly, for everybody that's like doubting, like, oh, is it really worth it? Is it not? Like, I feel like I'm working for nothing. Here's a good example of, yeah.
Thank you, man. It's like, it's different. Like I know some people may see me good, and the best they will see me okay. It's that point of view, and I'm happy to be okay for the moment. I'm happy to be amazing for others and happy to be bad for others. So my idea is consistency, because I think I'm still a little bit maybe far from reaching a certain level that I want or that I can.
Yeah.
Like I can see a lot of people who work harder than me, and I'm jealous of them because I don't have the time, and I'm trying to create it every single time to add a practice or to add a massage or to do meditation. With school, it's not simple, and with some classes really take time. I'm not going to all classes, because some classes you try just to pass it, doesn't matter. Like you just try and some classes that you really wanna know, like my finance classes or something, you really want to understand and to learn specifically why they're doing this type of, like, it doesn't matter the formula of the projects that you're doing, but you really want to learn it because you're gonna use it nearly in the future. You really want to focus on it, and it's the thing that I try to do both things in the same time that I love in the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm progressing a little bit in each, but I'm trying to keep like the consistency, because without it, we are nothing.
Yeah. And I think, consistency is key, as everybody says. And also just, you have to be happy with yourself. You have to put your goals for yourself. Like you said, some people can say you're amazing. Other people can say you're crap or you're average. That's fine. As long as you know your path and you're improving, I think everybody should really focus on getting better themselves every day. And trying to fit more practices, do whatever they got to do for themselves. Each individual person is different. But yeah, no, I agree. Last thing, I'm going to wrap it up with, because, we've chatted for a while, and it's been great. What are your aspirations? What are your goals? What's your plan apart from fencing? Let's say, whenever it is in a few years, you're done with fencing. What do you want? Or do you still want to continue with fencing, but also be part of something else? What is your idea?
To be specific, is growth.
Yeah.
I don't really have a specific goal. Even in fencing, I'm not going to tell you I want to become an Olympic champion, honestly, or best in the world, or like legend. I just want growth. If I become like that because I deserve it, it means good. If I end my career with just what I am right now, it means it's amazing, because that's the most I can reach.
Mm-hmm.
What I want is growth. It's to be the best version basically of what I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that I can honestly do much more than what I'm doing right now in fencing, in outside fencing. But my project outside is hopefully I will get my degree in bachelor and my MBA, and then probably try to find a job, not right away after getting my degree, and maybe just try to invest some money or like try to take work in a club just to survive, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe make change the visa for athletic, or try to make a green card, or maybe go back to Europe or go to Tunis, just keeping my fencing career going until 2028.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until that point, I will try to make maybe instead of school in fencing, a project in fencing.
Yeah.
Like I always had a dream to open a fencing club. Oh, that's a pretty cool dream because I know that I can give back to a lot of people and I can help a lot of kids just with simple like word and make them smile and make their day with small gesture. It doesn't have to be fencing and like small things, you know. Really enjoy making people happy because in the end of the day, if who doesn't help others really don't do nothing instead. If you want to be you'll be you until you die. Nothing more. So yeah, those small things, I think I want to pursue them because, you know, when we were kids, you don't really think about them. You think about yourself.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't know, like a couple months ago, before I go back, actually 5 months ago, I really did a very bad accident, car accident that
Oh shoot.
no, with my brother and my sister-in-law. And at that point, I was very close just actually to never be able to fence or do anything ever in my life. So at that point, I really changed the way I see the world for the better because you have that, wow, I can die any moment. Because like we were just going to a birthday, we're coming back, literally chilling, and a guy just very drunk crushed us.
Wow.
Out of nowhere. And at that point, I really changed everything I had in my life. I changed my mentality. I changed myself, my attitude, my discipline, the way I do things. And it's for the better, you know?
Yeah. 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 Wow. That's crazy story. I had absolutely no idea that happened, but thank God that you're okay, you're alive, and you're able to continue fencing and everything. Wow, but again, I think, you know, your aspirations and your goals sound really great, really incredible. I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what things you do in the future. They do seem very similar to, you know, my types of steps that I want to take right now after I finish my master's in England. But you know, we'll see where our journey takes us. But I'm excited for it. Every day is a blessing, really. And I think you kind of put that, you know, you nailed it on the head. You know, having this crazy crash experience, which hopefully nobody really has to go through. Yeah.
I hope everybody will pursue their dreams. Everybody will be fine, and I'm sure everybody just most important in the end of the day, just to have fun, right? Is just to do the things you love, and you go home and be like satisfied.
Yeah.
Satisfaction to be able to just shower and sleep like an honest person, and knowing that you did the best you can, and that's it. And I believe everybody will be able to do anything they dream of, and I'll be happy for them, honestly.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll end it at that. Thank you so much, Farès. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, to catch up, and I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know about you, and really you opened kind of my mind about thinking how we can improve fencing in new and cool ways. So I think it's been great. I hope all our viewers enjoyed this chat and keep you know, checking in with us every week to our channel. We're going to be having many more amazing guests, and happy holidays to everyone. And Farès, happy holidays to you, and hope to see you soon, buddy.
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to everybody who's going to watch this video. Thank you very much, man.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.